Your team has been betrayed. All your secrets compromised.
Sorry about the decor. The Ritz was booked solid.
Hey guys, Society Reviews here, my review of the film Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. When it comes to the late stages of the career of Tom Cruise, credit where credit is due. The man is certainly the only outspoken actor in Hollywood at the moment who respects the filmmaking process, along with respecting the audience enough to want to make movies that they want to see on the big screen. If more people had Cruise's mentality when it comes to the film industry, Hollywood would be in a significantly better place than it has been over the last 10 to 15 years. With that said, when you look at the last couple of years of Mission Impossible movies, one thing is apparent with Tom Cruise at the age of 62 years old. Either he has a death wish or he's made a pact with the cult of Scientology to one day be scraped off of the pavement filming an unnecessary stunt for a film. While it is certainly cool for audience members to look at these stunts on the big screen, one has to ask whether the gimmick is taking away from the final product. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning is supposed to be the first of the back-to-back series of movies that were released a couple of years ago. However, after underperforming in 2023 with Dead Reckoning, the final movie of the Mission Impossible franchise was pushed back a calendar year, along with getting an altered title to become The Final Reckoning. When we last left Ethan and his team, they had just secured a key to stopping a rogue AI program going around causing chaos and destruction throughout the entire world. The AI program, which not so subtly refers to himself as God while having a messenger called Gabriel, is hell-bent on bringing forth Armageddon, which means the destruction of all the nations across the planet. Ethan Hunt is the only man who actually wants to destroy the entity rather than control it, which means that he's the only man who can stop worldwide destruction, and the fate of our species is in his hands. A couple of things to note here. The film is drenched in elements of Gnosticism, and how the film frames the elements of good and evil. The entity serves as an evil godlike character who gets opposed by Ethan, who serves as an antichrist archetype against a figure who constantly claims it is written. A not so subtle plot point that goes over the heads of those who don't have ears to hear, but is certainly noticeable for those who are paying attention. The biggest issue with this film, however, is that with movies such as Fallout, the last movie simply felt like a step down to what audiences previously received. With everything put on the table, it's hard to justify why this movie needed to be two films, outside of the fact that Paramount probably figured that in order to recoup their massive funds that they spent trying to produce these two movies, The Final Reckoning is estimated to have cost nearly $400 million to produce, making it one of the most expensive movies ever made. Throw in the fact that part one of this series cost nearly $300 million, you're talking about nearly $700 million of production alone between two movies. Needless to say, the Mission Impossible franchise needed an Avatar-level success in order to bring in money and not be a pit for Paramount. But what about the films themselves? Fans of Ethan Hunt are certainly going to get a lot of him in this movie. Even at times, some of the stunts that are taken in this film are completely shatter the realms of reality. Even the characters in the movie themselves have to admit just how nonsensical the plot of this film is for everything to turn out in the hero's favor. If you have been along for the ride for this long, it's hard to say that it's going to be a major factor with you. At this point in the game, all the audience just wanted to do is be entertained by something, and there aren't many movies in theaters these days that are going to give them that sense of enjoyment. The Final Reckoning is a mixed bag of a final project. While there are certainly no knocking the effort in front and behind the camera to bring this film to life, you just can't help but feel that these movies are a step behind its predecessors when you look at productions such as Ghost Protocol and Fallout. In a lot of ways, it feels like this franchise has gotten too big for its own good. The open secret of Hollywood is that you can't tell Tom Cruise what to do at this point. You certainly can't tell him no. Given his star power with Paramount, there is nothing that anyone can say to Tom Cruise if he wants it done. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is certainly a cinematic experience, but once the adrenaline of watching this film in 4DX and IMAX wears off, you're going to be left with a film that certainly doesn't leave much replay value versus its predecessors. I give this film a 2 out of 5.